Hi everyone, this is Donny Lowy from Closeoutexplosion.com. Hope you're doing well today. I'd like to give you a wholesale fashion dress checklist. Basically what I'm going to do through this video is give you a set of checklists of what you should be looking for or what you should be aware of when you're looking to buy wholesale dresses. Now, my list isn't perfect. You might find, some ideas on your own. Your market might have a different requirement of a checklist. But I'm going to give you the checklist that I've found that is useful in my business and in the business of customers that I've interacted with. So the first thing you need to determine is the importance to your customer of whether they need brand name designer dresses or if you're willing to buy fashion and private label dresses. Now, it's a very big difference because brand name dresses and designer dresses are going to be more expensive than private label and fashion dresses. Where a fashion dress is basically a dress that looks really nice, really beautiful, but it's not being sold based on a brand, and even if it has a brand on it, it's not recognizable. A private label dress is usually a dress by either a designer or a brand that's just starting out, that's just trying to make its way, or it's similar to a fashion dress. It's a dress that is really nice. It's a closeout and someone made their own label or a generic label and they put it on that dress. So you need to know, are your customers looking specifically for brand name and designer dresses, or are they more interested in saving money and buying a lower price dress that looks nice and the brand and the designer isn't that important and they're okay with buying fashion or private label dresses, or maybe that's even what they prefer. Now, after determining that, there's still a few other checklists that you want to make sure that you could check off. Another thing you want to know is the budget of your customer, right? Because your customer might love brand name dresses, but if they cannot afford the brand name dresses, you're not going to be able to sell them. On the other hand, if you know your customers really love brand name dresses, but you know what their budget is, you might consider then not buying the latest styles of a brand, but looking for previous styles and buy them as a closeout, buy them as department store overstock, as store returns, and so on. So to make it more, concrete, so let's say your customers can afford to pay $100 for a Calvin Klein dress, then you might consider buying it directly from Calvin Klein. You might pay $80 or $70 or $90 for the dress at a wholesale price, but you can still sell it for $100. You might even be able to sell it to your customers for $120 or $150. But let's say your customer loves Calvin Klein dresses, but they can only afford to pay $70 for the dress or $80, or maybe they can only afford to pay $60 for the dress. Then you want to find out if your customer, and this is the next thing on your checklist, if your customer is willing to buy a previous season, a previous style dress, as long as it has the brand name or it's made by the designer that they like. And if the answer is yes, then you could look for that Calvin Klein dress as overstock, as a closeout, and that means you'll be able to buy that dress and it'll come from a previous season, but you'll be able to give it to your customer at a very low price. For example, in my wholesale warehouse, I sell brand name and designer dresses for as low as $15 each, right? So even if you were to buy that dress at $15 each, but it's from a previous season, you can sell it for $30, $40 and still have a profit. So, but you need to know first if your customer is okay with buying a beautiful brand name dress if it's not the latest style that just came out into the market this week. And most customers I've found are okay is to do that, especially if the dress is beautiful and it's very stylish. Okay, another thing you would have on your checklist is the style requirements of your customer. Now, the style requirements means, can the customer buy a dress, let's say, that's very bright, that's very fashionable? Do they want a very bright looking dress? Do they want a more conservative dress? Do they want a low cut dress? Do they want a dress that fully covers them? Do they want a dress that's meant to be worn at the office? Do they want a dress that's meant to be worn at a religious occasion? And if the dress is meant for the office or it is meant for a religious occasion, then you need to find out which dresses fit the style that is required at their religious occasion or at their office. And these are very important things that you need to know, because I can tell you that in my own business, I can bring in a beautiful selection of brand name dresses, but the customers who are looking for the conservative styles will only buy my conservative dresses, and the customers who are looking for more revealing, I would say more maybe an edgier look, are only going to buy those more edgier and more revealing dresses. But the customers won't buy dresses from the other category that doesn't fit the style that they're looking for. So you have to make sure that you understand what it is that your customers want, so you can buy the right wholesale dresses for your customer. And then the next item on the checklist is knowing how you're going to find your customers and how you're going to sell to your customers. Right? Depending on the market that you're in, you're going to have a different setup in order to sell those dresses to your customer. Right? Does your customer want a hands-off transaction? Do they only want to buy online? Or do your customers want to come into your store, and do they need more of a personal touch, and they need someone to really give them suggestions on exactly what dress is suitable for them? Or is it somewhere in the middle? So these are things you need to know so that you're prepared to run your dress business in a very efficient manner. All right, my website is closeoutexplosion.com.